They came from the coastal plains, a shadow moving over the land. An army forged not of flesh, but of cybernetic steel and calculated fear. They brought with them a new god, a god of engines and iron. And in their wake, the old world burned. Every day their champion emerged, a 10-foot shadow, a machine of war encased in a man's form. Goliath. He was more than a soldier. He was a monument to their power. A walking fortress, they said. A titan, they said. The giant they claimed could not be defeated. Before such power, the courage of an entire nation evaporated. The veterans of 100 battles hid in muddy trenches, their prayers dissolving into whispers of terror. They no longer fought for victory. They prayed for survival. Even their king, Saul, a man chosen for his stature, was dwarfed by his own dread. He sat in his tent, staring at the royal armor he no longer dared to wear. When leadership fails, fear becomes the new king. But fate does not always look for kings and commanders. Miles away, in the quiet hills, fate was tending sheep. He was a boy, David, who knew the sky, the wind, and the wolf. He was not a soldier, he was a protector. He came to the camp not with a sword, but with supplies for his brothers. And he heard the mockery, he saw the fear, and he felt a different fire. He saw not an unbeatable giant. He saw a bully, a blasphemer. They offered him the king's own armor, a heavy shell of steel and doubt. He refused it. He did not need the armor of a fearful king. He trusted in the tools he knew, the tools of a shepherd, a simple leather sling, and 5 smooth stones from the stream. So the boy walked into the valley of death, alone. The two armies watched from the hills, a silent, stunned theater of thousands. In the center of the world, technology met faith. The giant laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Am I a dog," he roared, "that you come to me with sticks? I will feed your flesh to the birds of the air." The boy's voice was clear, and it cut through the valley. "You come to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." He calmly reached into his bag. He loaded his sling. In that moment, there was no fear. Only the absolute quiet certainty of the shot. The giant charged, his cybernetic legs shaking the earth. The boy planted his feet. The spin, a blur of leather, a single perfect release. It was not a random prayer. It was a lifetime of practice. 1,000 wolves, 1,000 lions. This was just one more. The stone flew, a pinpoint of faith against a wall of steel. It found the one gap, the one imperfection, the seam between the visor and the helmet. The impact was small, but absolute. The red light in the visor flickered and died. The giant stopped. His systems failed, his arrogance deleted. For a moment, the Titan stood motionless, a statue of disbelief. And then, the fall. It was not just a man falling, it was an empire's pride crashing to the ground. The sound echoed across the valley, a final thunderous end. Silence. The army stared. The boy breathed. History does not teach us that giants are large. It teaches us that they fall very, very hard. This is not a story about the size of your enemy. It is a story about the strength of your faith.